Have you ever wondered why we are drawn to the character of the fool in literature, film, and society? It's a fascinating question, isn't it? For centuries, the fool has been a captivating figure, a magnet for curiosity and often empathy. This allure is not arbitrary, it's rooted deep within our psyche, a testament to our inherent fascination with the unconventional, the outlandish, the misunderstood, and the seemingly naive. So are you ready to embark on this journey of discovery? Let's delve into the intriguing psychology of the fool. Throughout history, the fool has held a special place in various cultures. This character, often dismissed as nothing more than comic relief, has been present in society for millennia, serving both as a source of amusement and as a mirror reflecting the follies and foibles of society itself. Delving into the annals of the ancient world, we find the fool playing a significant role. In ancient Greece, for example, the comic playwright Aristophanes used foolish characters in his plays to satirize the political and social issues of the time. These fools, often portrayed as bumbling and naive, were nevertheless able to provide keen insights into the society in which they lived. In ancient Rome, the fool found a new home in the farcical plays of Plautus, where they were often the ones who, through their blunders and missteps, ended up exposing the hypocrisies and shortcomings of their so-called betters. Fast forward to the Middle Ages, and the fool takes center stage in the courts of kings and queens. The court jester, as they were known, was not just a source of entertainment but also served as a social commentator. Their humor often contained biting satire, and their jests could speak truths that others dared not utter. They were the one person who could mock the king and not lose their head, providing a unique perspective on the world of the court. As we move into the modern era, the fool becomes a more complex character. They are no longer just the jester in the king's court, or the comic relief in a play. In literature, film, and theater, the fool often embodies a sense of innocence and purity that stands in stark contrast to the corruption and deceit around them. They become the voice of reason in a world gone mad, their simple-mindedness revealing profound wisdom. In the realm of psychology, the fool archetype represents the unconscious mind, the part of us that, like the fool, stumbles blindly through life, guided more by instinct and emotion than by logic or reason. This aspect of the fool archetype reflects our own human nature, our capacity for folly, and our potential for wisdom. From the bumbling fool of ancient plays to the wise fool of modern literature and cinema, the fool has undergone a remarkable transformation. They have evolved from a simple comic character to a complex figure that challenges our preconceptions and forces us to look at ourselves and our society in a new light. The fool, in all their guises, serves as a reminder of our own fallibility and the absurdity of the human condition. They show us that wisdom can come from the most unlikely of sources and that, sometimes, it is the fool who sees the world most clearly. Thus, the fool has evolved from a simple jester to a complex character in our society. Their role has changed, but their purpose remains the same: to make us laugh, to make us think, and to hold up a mirror to our own follies and foibles. The fool is a universally recognized figure across cultures. This statement is more than just an observation. It's a testament to the enduring allure and fascination of the fool archetype. But why, you might ask? Let's explore. In the vast tapestry of world cultures, the fool's role and characteristics vary, but the underlying essence remains the same. The fool is often a mirror, reflecting society's quirks, flaws, and contradictions. They serve as a catalyst for change, a disruptor of norms, and a beacon of truth, albeit often unintentionally. Take, for instance, the jester in medieval European courts. With their motley attire and jingling bells, jesters were entertainers, yes, but they were also the only ones who could openly critique the king without fear of reprisal. Cloaked in humor, their biting satire brought to light the absurdities of the court and its politics. In a similar vein, we find the trickster figures in Native American folklore. Characters like Coyote or Raven are known for their cunning and deceit, often using their wits to outsmart others and challenge the status quo. These tales serve as moral parables, teaching lessons about the dangers of hubris and the value of wisdom. In Japanese culture, the archetype of the fool is embodied in the character of the Tengu, a mythical creature often depicted as mischievous and disruptive. The Tengu, however, also carries a more profound message. Their disruptive antics are a reminder of the dangers of arrogance and the importance of humility. In African cultures, the fool often takes the form of a wise old man or woman, a trickster who uses their apparent foolishness as a guise to impart wisdom. Characters like Anansi the spider from West African folklore use wit and trickery to outsmart their opponents, revealing deep truths about human nature and society in the process. These examples serve to illustrate that the fool is more than a simple figure of ridicule or amusement. In their foolishness, they reveal the complexities of human nature and society. They challenge us, make us think, and often make us laugh. They are the disruptors, the truth-tellers, the wise fools who use humor and wit to shed light on the world's absurdities. But it's not just about the role they play in society. The fool's appeal also lies in their characteristics, their impulsiveness, their disregard for social norms, their boundless curiosity. These traits, though often seen as negative, also hold an undeniable charm. They represent a freedom and authenticity that many of us yearn for in our regimented, rule-bound lives. Despite cultural differences, the fool remains a captivating figure in our collective consciousness. So the next time you encounter a fool, whether in literature, film, or in the world around you, remember, there's more to them than meets the eye. The fool's presence in literature is undeniable and impactful. Now let's delve into the world of words and discover the role of the fool in both classic and modern literature. In many classic works, the fool is more than just a source of comic relief. Take Shakespeare's plays, for instance. His fools are often the wisest characters, speaking truths disguised as jests, providing a mirror for the follies of society. King Lear's fool, for example, uses humor and riddles to expose Lear's poor judgment and the inherent corruption of the court. Thus, the fool in classic literature often serves as a voice of reason in a world gone mad, symbolizing wisdom and folly. In modern literature, too, the fool retains his symbolic importance. In novels like The Catcher in the Rye, Holden Caulfield, the fool-like protagonist, questions societal norms and rejects the phoniness of the adult world. His naivety and foolishness, rather than undermining his character, enhance his critical perspective. The fool also frequently appears in fantasy literature, such as in The Lord of the Rings. Here, the hobbits, particularly Pippin, play the fool's role. Their innocence and lack of worldly wisdom make them outsiders, yet it's their foolish courage that ultimately helps defeat the evil. In dystopian novels like Brave New World, the fool is often the character who recognizes the dystopia's inherent flaws. They might be ridiculed or ostracized, but their foolish perspective is essential for exposing the truth. Across different genres and periods, the fool in literature serves various functions, from providing comic relief to critiquing societal norms. They embody paradoxes, being both foolish and wise, naive yet insightful. They challenge our perceptions, urging us to question accepted norms and look beyond surface appearances. In literature, the fool often mirrors society, revealing truths that others cannot see. Their role, though seemingly minor, is pivotal, offering us a unique lens to view and understand the world around us. In film, the fool often steals the spotlight, resonating with audiences worldwide. This captivating character, dressed in the guise of comic relief, often holds a mirror to society, challenging our perceptions and norms. Let's take a moment to delve into the world of cinema and explore the role of the fool. The fool in cinema is often a character who, despite their apparent lack of wisdom or social grace, ends up being the catalyst for change or meaningful revelation. They are the wild card, the unpredictable element that disrupts the status quo. The fool's character is often marked by a kind of innocence or naivete that allows them to see the world in ways others can't. They question the established norms and challenge societal expectations, often highlighting the absurdity of our world. They provide a unique perspective, one that's unclouded by the complexities and pretenses of society. And what about their audience appeal? Why do we find ourselves drawn to these characters? Perhaps it's because they embody a certain freedom, an unshackled view of the world that many of us yearn for. They help us to see the world differently, to question and challenge our own beliefs and assumptions. But they also offer us a sense of comfort. There's something reassuring in their simplicity, their ability to navigate the world without the burden of societal constraints. They remind us that there's more to life than just following the rules, that sometimes it's okay to be a little foolish. In the end, the fool in cinema offers more than just comic relief. They are a symbol of rebellion, of freedom, and of the unique perspectives that can arise from a mind unclouded by societal norms. They challenge us, they entertain us, and above all, they make us think. The fool in cinema is a testament to our fascination with this timeless archetype. They are a reminder that sometimes it's the fool who ends up being the wisest of us all. Now let's explore what attracts us to the Fool from a psychological perspective. There's something captivating about the Fool, isn't there? An allure that draws us in, making us laugh, making us think, and sometimes making us uncomfortable. So what exactly is it that piques our interest? To understand this, we need to delve into the world of psychology, and specifically the theories that relate to the Fool. One of the most renowned theories comes from Carl Jung, who introduced the concept of archetypes. In Jungian psychology, the Fool is one such archetype, a universal symbol that resides within our collective unconscious. It's a character we recognize regardless of our culture or background, because it taps into something primal within us. The Fool, in the Jungian sense, represents the childlike aspects of our psyche: innocence, wonder, and curiosity. It's the part of us that's unburdened by societal norms and expectations, the part that sees the world with fresh eyes and isn't afraid to question the status quo. This resonates with us on a deep level, reminding us of our own intrinsic desire for freedom and authenticity. But the Fool doesn't just embody innocence. It also represents our shadow side, the parts of ourselves we hide, suppress, or deny. The Fool's erratic behavior and disregard for conventions can mirror our own hidden desires and impulses, which we may find unsettling yet intriguing. This duality, this blend of light and shadow, is part of what makes the Fool such a compelling character. Now let's shift our focus to another aspect that defines the Fool: humor. The Fool often uses humor as a tool, a way to challenge authority, to expose hypocrisy, or to simply lighten the mood. From a psychological standpoint, humor serves multiple purposes. It can be a coping mechanism, a way to deal with stress or adversity. It can also be a form of social bonding, a way to connect with others. When we laugh at the Fool's antics, we're not just entertained, we're also engaged on an emotional level. But there's more to the Fool's humor than just making us laugh. The Fool often uses humor to speak truth to power, to say things that others dare not say. This ability to challenge authority, to question the established order, is one of the most intriguing aspects of the Fool. It's a form of rebellion, a way to push boundaries and provoke thought. In many ways, the Fool is the ultimate truth teller. Cloaked in silliness and absurdity, the Fool can voice hard truths and critique societal norms without facing the usual consequences. This gives the Fool a unique power, the power to disrupt, to provoke, and to inspire change. We're drawn to this because it embodies a form of freedom that many of us yearn for, the freedom to speak our minds without fear of judgment or retribution. So what does all of this tell us about our attraction to the Fool? It tells us that the Fool is a reflection of our own complexities, embodying both our light and shadow sides. It tells us that we're drawn to the Fool's humor, not just because it entertains us, but also because it connects us on an emotional level and challenges us to see the world in a different light. And finally, it tells us that we're captivated by the Fool's ability to speak truth to power, to question the status quo and inspire change. The psychology behind our attraction to the Fool is as complex as the character itself. The Fool doesn't just exist in literature or film, they live among us in our everyday lives. You've probably met a Fool at some point in your life, even if you didn't realize it at the time. The Fool archetype is a fundamental part of our society, and it manifests in various ways across different scenarios. Let's start with social interactions. Have you ever been at a gathering where someone lightens the mood with their humorous antics or perhaps their innocent blunders? That's the Fool at play, creating an atmosphere of levity and joy. They may not always have the perfect punchline or the most tactful comments, but their presence is often a breath of fresh air in the midst of serious or tense situations. The Fool doesn't stop at social situations. They're present in our professional lives too. Picture that coworker who's known for their eccentric ideas and unconventional approach to problem solving. They may seem out of place in a structured corporate environment, but their fresh perspectives often lead to innovative solutions. The Fool in the workplace is the one who dares to think differently, to challenge the status quo, and to take risks when others are hesitant. In daily life, the Fool can also be seen in the person who is always questioning, always curious, and not afraid to show their ignorance. They may ask questions that others might deem silly or obvious, but in doing so, they provoke thought and stimulate discussion. Their apparent naivety can actually be a powerful tool for learning and growth. In our relationships, the Fool often plays the role of the mirror, reflecting our own follies and shortcomings. They may unintentionally reveal our prejudices or biases, or they may simply make us aware of our own foolish behaviors. It's through the Fool that we come to recognize and acknowledge our own flaws. However, it's important to note that the fool is not just a figure of ridicule or amusement. The fool, in their innocence and simplicity, often embodies a certain wisdom that goes unnoticed. They remind us of the importance of humility, of being open to new experiences, and of the value of living in the moment. The fool archetype, in essence, is a reflection of our human nature, our follies, our curiosities, our courage, and our wisdom. They are a mirror through which we can see ourselves more clearly, with all our imperfections and strengths. And it's in recognizing and understanding the fool in our everyday lives that we gain deeper insights into ourselves and the world around us. So, the next time you encounter a fool in your daily life, don't be quick to dismiss them. Instead, take a moment to reflect on what their behavior might be revealing about your own attitudes and behaviors. Understand that the fool is not just a character in a story or a figure in a movie. They are an integral part of our social fabric. Recognizing the fool in our lives can provide valuable insights into human behavior and society. The fool, a seemingly simple character, carries profound psychological implications. As we've journeyed together through the annals of history, we've unearthed the fool's enduring presence and significance. From ancient jesters who held the mirror up to their societies, to the fools of literature and cinema, who so often reveal the most profound truths, the fool is not merely a figure of mockery or amusement. Culturally, the fool serves as a reflection of societal norms and expectations. They stand apart, dancing on the edges of what is acceptable, challenging us to question our own roles and behaviors. They are the jesters who provoke thought, the clowns who inspire laughter, and the innocents who remind us of our shared humanity. In literature and cinema, the fool is a powerful tool for social commentary and critique. Their perceived foolishness often masks a depth of wisdom and insight, offering us a unique lens through which to view our world. From a psychological perspective, the fool embodies our subconscious desires and fears. They represent the parts of ourselves we often suppress or ignore, our follies, our failures, our dreams, and our hopes. By stepping into their oversized shoes, we can explore these aspects of our psyche in a safe and non-threatening way. In our everyday lives, we encounter the fool in various forms, serving as a constant reminder of our own folliness and the beauty of human imperfection. By understanding the psychology of the fool, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Thanks so much for watching.